conscience take over the country's leadership.
Cocoa has been his family's main income for more than 30 years.
All the former leaders of the cocoa sector are in jail, and Gbagbo has appointed his own. And now he has nationalized the sector. This is because he knows it's profitable and can get him money.
The ongoing political crisis in Ivory Coast threatens the country's status as being the world's top producer of cocoa. And now farmers are complaining that it's no longer profitable to grow cocoa as illegal cartels take advantage of the situation to take their crop at throwaway prices. Alou Bile is a trader in the small town of Ara in the eastern part of Côte d'Ivoire. He says he hasn't sold any cocoa for the last 2 months.
Every morning, farmers come to me for payment. I have no money to pay them. If the situation remains the same, it will be unbearable for us.
European Union sanctions imposed in protest over Gbagbo's refusal to stand down are already strangling the nation's cocoa sector. More than 475,000 tons are stuck in storage. If cocoa production continues to suffer, then not only will farmers face financial ruin, it will soon become a major concern too for chocolate lovers everywhere. Mohamed Ado, AlJazeera, Ara in eastern Côte d'Ivoire.
Much more still to come in this program. Pakistan's vaccination program targeting more than 30 million children under the age of 5. Find out what's making them sick and why the risk of them getting disease is so high. Also,
I'm Nazanin Moshiri in Gafsa in southern Tunisia. I'll be reporting on the economic roots of this uprising.
Business Latest is brought to you by Capco in just about everything. Business Latest is brought to you by Capco in just about everything.
A history of guerrilla warfare. A place on the global stage. The PLO gaining strength. Their revolutionary zeal knowing no bounds. But did a series of violent acts by their splinter groups damage the Palestinian cause? Or ensure its survival? Chronicling the turbulent story of the struggle for a Palestinian homeland. PLO, History of a Revolution, at this time on Al Jazeera.
again, the top stories here on Al Jazeera. Renewed fighting in the oil port of Ras Lanouf. Reports say clashes are underway between pro-Gaddafi forces and rebels in the area. Government forces showered the city with rockets and tank shells on Thursday. And in another oil port, Braga, fighters report multiple airstrikes by government forces. The hospital there filling with the wounded, challenging the rebels' hold on the country's east. And security forces have opened fire to disperse protesters in Saudi Arabia. They are defying a government ban on demonstrations and rallies by calling for reform and the release of political prisoners. The 2008 rebellion in Tunisia's phosphate-rich Gafsa region was a warning bell of the uprising, which eventually toppled former President Ben Ali's regime. Now, that revolt was brutally crushed by police, but even after the Jasmine Revolution, many in Gafsa feel removed from events. As Nazanin Mashiri reports, little in their lives has changed.
This is a place where rebellion still hangs in the air. The words above these graves, the unemployed and the forgotten. This is at the heart of their protest. They want jobs and for the government in Tunis to stop ignoring their plight.
I feel excluded and oppressed, like I'm missing hundreds of things from my life. We see our wealth leaving this area, millions of dollars, and we are getting nothing.
The wealth is in the ground, in the phosphate mines which dominate the landscape. The government-run company makes millions of dollars a day selling this mineral abroad. Yet this is one of the poorest regions in Tunisia. In 2008, 3 years before the Jasmine Revolution, people here revolted. But their uprising was brutally suppressed. All of these men, more than 50 of them, were beaten and imprisoned.
The protests back then were censored. There was no media, no Facebook here. People were too scared to tell our story because the regime was too strong.
In the same village, we meet graduates in their late 20s who've never worked a day in their lives. They have a choice: either stay here, unable to get married or earn money, or try to migrate to Europe. This is a region on the economic and social edge of Tunisia. People here feel disconnected with events in Tunis and the country's transition to democracy. Ben Ali and his political police may be gone, but there's still a deep sense of injustice here. Ben Ali's departure is just the beginning for this new nation. The transitional government must take notice of what's happening in Gafsa. The root causes of this revolution are not resolved. Nazanin Mashiri, Al Jazeera, Gafsa, in southern Tunisia.
A major healthcare initiative in Pakistan will attempt to immunise 32 million children under the age of 5. The disease is polio, and Pakistan accounts for 60% of its global incidence. Kamal Haider reports from the Swat Valley.
The war against the Pakistani Taliban may be under control for now, but a different battle is being waged in Swat. With a fund made available by the Gates Foundation, Pakistan has launched a massive program to provide immunization for 32 million children under the age of 5. The country has seen a rise of 65% in outbreak of the polio virus. In Swat, the virus found a safe haven, partly due to the ongoing conflict with the Taliban and because of the recent floods. Now that the military is firmly in control of this valley, the polio immunization program is back on track. But for Waqas and Waqar, two brothers now crippled by the virus, the lull in the fighting came too late.
The Taliban were threatening the immunization team not to work in the area, and that's why my children were deprived from polio drops and now suffering from polio.
Learning